Hey, I wanted to do a video about manifesting love, but that hasn't really come into my experience yet, which I'm okay with, and you'll see why later on in this video as I explain. This is more geared towards sex, I suppose, and how my journey has really been a lot of fun, and I'm getting more of the experience that I needed rather than what I had originally wanted. So I'll start off with three different techniques that I've been using to manifest, and not just love or sex or men, it's in all different areas. One of them is to play a character, and it's like being an actress. In my head, I kind of try and embody and take on the mindset of this character that I want to become. And an example of this working was I went on a vacation recently and I was trying very last minute to work out. And so my plan was to work out every night. And I don't really like working out, so my strategy was to embody or play the character of somebody who was really fit, had a rockin' body, liked working out, was really active. And I can say that many times doing that, even if I had already decided that I wasn't going to work out, like kind of as a last ditch effort, I'd think, okay, well, let me play this character. And every time I did that, I worked out that night. So it was really effective in that scenario. So I imagine it's helping me to manifest other things as well that aren't quite as immediate in their results. Another technique is I have this app, and it is a manifesting app, and it just pops up with reminders, and it has haptic feedback. It's you hit it 5 times, and each time you hit it, it gives you haptic feedback, and it has the different mantras, I guess. And I've got many on there, but the ones related to men or love or sex is I attract intelligent, funny, attractive men into my experience. I love flirtatious attention. I'm attracted. I forget exactly what they're. I think I have 3, maybe 4 of those that periodically come up, and then it's just a little reminder, and I hit the thing, and I just take a moment and think about what I want in that regard, in my romance, the romance part of my life. And then the third technique would be to think in vibration, and that would really, I look around and I can see this wall, I look down, I can see my arms, I can see my legs, and the doors, and the things that are around me. So when I try and think in vibration, it's almost like switching over to a whole new way of looking at the world, kind of like Neo does in the Matrix when he kind of discovers his power and he starts seeing the world in these numbers that are really similar to like computer code. And just seeing the world in vibration and trying to think about things in a sense that it's really possible. Everything is possible if you can reach the vibration of it. And I get a lot of that from Abraham Hicks. I've been listening to a lot to her. So those are kind of the 3 top techniques that I've been using recently. And so now getting into the relationships part, there's been 3 main people, and they've all served different purposes. So at first it was this one guy that I was just really sleeping with, and it was perfect because I kind of thought that if I dated somebody that I really liked, I might settle, and I know exactly what I want, and I was afraid that I was going to bypass that or lose my opportunity for that by settling for somebody that was good enough and the relationship was good enough. This guy was perfect because he was cute, he was good in bed, but there was no risk of me wanting a relationship with him. So that was consistent for a while. And then the next guy, so that fulfilled like the sex part. I had really great sex. And then the next guy kind of fulfilled the intimacy part without the risk of attachment, because he was kind of seeing somebody back at home. I work this schedule at work where come to work for 2 weeks at a time. And when I'm here, I work 12, 14, 15 hours a day, every day that I'm here. And then when I go home, I'm fully off. And I have 2 full weeks to just do whatever I want. So here at work, we're really good friends, but also really had high sexual tension, and the risk of sex really wasn't there because he felt an obligation towards this person that he was seeing at home. And but we still were really good friends, and we spent enough alone time together, and we're kind of close with each other that I felt like I got the intimacy part of it. And so that kind of fulfilled that aspect for me. And then the next person, the person I'm currently seeing, I don't want a relationship with him because he lives really far away, and so a relationship doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so that was kind of what started it. Like, that's why I didn't want a relationship to start, but it was also, just kind of things just fell into place, and we just ended up having sex, and it was really good sex. And it worked out so that I've learned so much more from this relationship than I have any of the other ones, because right off the bat, he threw me off kilter. So we slept together, and then the next night he didn't want to come over, which really threw me off, because as conceited as this sounds, I'm used to getting what I want. I mean, as far as relationships, like, once I start seeing somebody, I pretty much feel like I get the power. Hook, line, and sinker. Men that I'm seeing just trip over themselves trying to please me, and so him not coming over the next night when I wanted him to come over really threw me for a loop, and had me doubting myself. And I have this coworker up here, and we're really good friends, and she thought it was really funny because I'm so confident, and he had me kind of doubting myself and going through this thought process, and so she just found it really interesting to see this different side of me. And really, one of the very few times, maybe first time, that that's really ever happened that way to me. And so there was a couple of days of that, but it taught me something, because I was able to manifest getting right back into it. Like, I was able to put myself right back into feeling good after I was doubting myself, seriously doubting myself, and wondering what was wrong with me, and was I not good in bed, and what happened. And I decided that I was going to play a character that I normally am, that, I'm fully confident in myself, and even if I don't get anything more with him, it was really fun that first night. And I got to have a fun night, and whatever, I just kind of I was able to let it go. I got into a good spot. Then I decided that I was going to take it a step further, and I wanted to manifest winning. I wanted to win this scenario. I didn't want it to end the way that it seemed to be ending. And I did. It's working out really well. It's been a while now. It's been maybe close to a month that we've been seeing each other, or talking, or whatever. Still no relationship. Another thing I was able to learn with this relationship was setting really clear boundaries. I don't want a relationship. I just want friendship and sex, and an open and honest friendship relationship, not like a committed relationship. And that's been tested a little bit. So there's been a couple of things that I have really just figured out about myself, and I've come to learn a lot about the whole situation. Like, I wanted to learn how to sext, and I've never really done that before. I just got out of a 10-year marriage, and I was feeling pretty new to, like, the whole everything. It was, the marriage was just, the sex thing just wasn't really spicy. And so I was learning how to sext and do like explore my boundaries in that arena. And so that's been a lot of fun. And I think that originally, when I first was manifesting this person that I want to fall in love with, who I lovingly call End Game to my friends, when I talk about him, I know exactly what I want him to be, but as I've gone along and as I've seen these different people and met different people and had different experiences, I've really been able to hone in and become very, very specific on what I want from this person. And as of course, as always, when you manifest, you want something, you say what you want specifically or better, right? When I manifested my house, I got the or better because I was super specific about what I wanted. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this person. I'm just getting really, really, really specific. But also, I know exactly what I want in a man and in Endgame, but I don't think I was ready for him. I don't think that I had the confidence, the knowledge, maybe, because since I've been doing this, I want somebody who's really confident. I want somebody who can take charge and who's really successful and who's, this, that, and the other thing. But I also was manifesting who I wanted to be in the relationship, and I wanted to be really confident. And since I've decided that, I've been practicing that a lot, like going out and I'll hit on a guy, or I'll ask somebody, if they're seeing someone, or one of the things that I've really been working on lately is making eye contact and not breaking it. I've had a hard time with making eye contact for a lot of my life just because I've grew up in a culture where eye contact seems to be kind of taboo, at least not in the way that Western culture has it. And I've been getting really good at that. Like, I'll go around and I'm looking around, and with men that I see that I find attractive, I'll lock eyes with them, and it's really fun to do. And in the last month, since I've been with this person, the sexual tension and energy, because we've been texting back and forth, and so there's been this constant like thinking of this person and how amazing it was. And so when I went home, we're up here at work, we work together, and like I said, he lives far away. But when I went home, I had like, oh gosh, the pizza guy, hit on me. I had an interaction that was really entertaining with the cable guy. I had somebody that literally honked at me on the road and tried to get my number on the on the road. I feel like there was another one. But all of these things that don't normally happen to me were just like gravitating towards me. And then I come back to work, and people that I spent a lot of time with and I've already worked with a whole bunch suddenly are giving me different kinds of attention. And I think that's because of the vibe I'm putting out, right? So I'm behaving a little bit different, so I'm getting a little bit different reaction. And it's all really fun, and it's, innocent, and just really, really entertaining. When I first saw this guy that I'm seeing now, I told my friend, because we went to eat breakfast, and I said, I just got eyes from somebody, and I kind of pointed him out to, he was behind us. And then later on that day, he came by, and we spent a little bit of, introduced him. We'd met before, but, this is the first time we'd really ever talked. But, yeah, it just kind of started the whole thing. And the reason that I don't want a relationship with him, and I think that I really like the distance that we have that kind of creates a buffer, gives me a reason to say, hey, this is exactly what I want. I don't want a relationship with you in a commitment, on the commitment side of things. I just want, sex and friendship and communication, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. But with him, the reason is because our relationship is so one-dimensional. We text a lot back and forth, but it's really just all about sex, which I'm really in love with. I love the relationship we have with sex, don't get me wrong, but I'll throw out lines with other things. It's either with philosophy or with manifesting or with music and art, and he just doesn't bite on any of that stuff. And so that's really the biggest reason why I know that this isn't Endgame. But that's kind of my story, and I hope that you found it interesting. coming up on 15 minutes.